the sunken city of the Caribbean, forbidden archaeology, ancient texts and many religious speaks of the massive flood that struck the planet Earth in distant past. The Great Deluge, the Great Flood, is said to have changed our planet and its ancient inhabitants forever. In recent years, there have been numerous discoveries of submerged structures and even entire cities which remained hidden for thousands of years. And these submerged structures point to a much different time on Earth when our planet's oceans were very different. We had an ice age, so we had a lot less water. There were shallower oceans. For example, the Mediterranean was much more shallow. And the Greek islands, for example, in the Aegean Sea, were closer to each other because there was less sea to travel. And recently we found the ancient submerged temple off the coasts of Japan. And obviously those were from what archaeologists believe built tens of thousands of years ago. Now, the tales of sunken empires have been present in societies around the world for thousands of years, while most of them are believed to be a myth, such as those of the ancient Atlantis and ancient Mu and other tales, have proven to be more than just stories. Atlantis, the lost empire in the submerged city off the coast of Cuba, is this a myth or a reality? There was some kind of submerged city underneath the coast, the seas of Cuba. So over a decade, a team of underwater explorers from a Canadian exploration company was mapping the ocean floor and near the western coast of Cuba. And while exploring there, the team's sonar equipment detected all of a sudden a bewildering array of stone structures located about 650 meters below the surface of the sea. And the team of researchers have found a series of unusual formations, smooth blocks, crests, and different geometric shapes at the bottom of the ocean. The company responsible for the finding is Advanced Digital Communications, and they suggested that the structures found off the western coast of Cuba were ancient monuments of an unknown ancient civilization. Symmetrically arranged stones, which appeared to be remnants of some type of ancient urban development, certainly point towards a highly developed society that could have inhabited the region in the distant past. But what happened to this incredible discovery that was on the news over a decade ago, and why are we not exploring this any further? Is it possible that the discovery will change the way we look at history and our origins? Many people would agree that there are hundreds of discoveries that are kept from society, and is the sunken city off the coast of Cuba one of them? Geologist Manuel Iturralde remained open-minded, and he said, "These are extremely peculiar structures, and they have captured our imagination." This is what Iturralde said, who is the director of research at Cuba's Natural History Museum. Iturralde has studied countless underwater formations over the years, and he said, "If I had to explain this geologically, I would have a hard time." Estimating that it would have taken 50,000 years for such structures to have sunk into the depths at which they are said to be found, Iturralde said 50,000 years ago, there was not the architectural capacity in any of the cultures we know of to build complex buildings. Well, okay, that's because you don't take into account the Atlantean advanced technology. And since this finding, people have come out with the Emerald Tablets, translating the Emerald Tablets, which were supposedly written by Thoth the Atlantean, saying that we even have writings from Plato describing that an ancient Egyptian priest had told Solon, the lawmaker, and Solon told Plato that even the ancient Egyptians knew of the Atlanteans, and that there were, at various times in the history of the earth, various cataclysms that took place, and that they will be taking place in the future as well. And obviously that the ancient priests of Egypt told Solon that the civilizations of the past were very advanced. And they were so advanced that they were very haughty and selfish. They were abusing their technology. They even had technology having to do with interdimensional beings and interdimensional switching back and forth in frequencies. And that was to the detriment of the earth and humanity. So it was obvious, even thought the Atlantean writes in the Emerald Tablets, that it was by divine intervention that the Atlantean civilization was put an end to because they were that haughty and dangerous. Whereas some of them did repent and leave Atlantis and set up new cities in various places around the world. And the first thing they did was build pyramids, according to Thoth. You'll find the Emerald Tablets videos on a playlist I have. I read the Emerald Tablets for you if you want to listen to them. They have a lot of information having to do with their philosophy and their technology and their longevity as well. Now, they even had spaceships. Now, so yes, these things were supposedly created 50,000 years ago. And the specialist in underwater technology at Florida State University said it would be cool if they were right, but it would be really advanced for anything we would see in the New World for that time frame. The structures are out of time and out of place. Again, they're assuming that the ancient civilizations did not exist and that if there were humans, they were basically ape-like. Whereas that's not what we have in the recordings of ancient Greeks and Plato and Solon and the like. Now, many researchers remained extremely skeptical about the discovery, since a lot of people jumped to conclusions drawing parallels to the ancient Atlantean Empire. Soon after the discovery was made, the National Museum and National Geographic displayed great interest in further investigating the area, but for some unknown reason, that never happened. 10 years after the incredible discovery was made by Pauline and Paul Weisweig, owners of Advanced Digital Communications, the discovery was labeled as the finding of Cuba's Atlantis, and the lost city of the Caribbean was simply forgotten. The underwater city near Cuba is not the first underwater city to be discovered. Actually, there have been quite a few underwater cities that have been discovered in recent years. The discovery of the legendary ancient city of Dwarka in the Gulf of Cambay in India is certainly one of those incredible discoveries. The ruins are located 131 feet below the surface of the sea in the bay of modern-day Dwarka, one of the 7 oldest cities of India. Studies have shown that the ruins are artificial in nature. In other words, they're constructed. Several artifacts have been discovered, but perhaps none as important as one artifact believed to date from 7,500 BC. So that's about 9,500 to 10,000 years ago. So it supports the theory that the remains found in the Gulf of Cambay in India are in fact those of the legendary city of Lord Krishna. It's believed that Krishna was the one who established the city of Dwarka. It's believed that the incredible city was submerged underwater after the death of Lord Krishna. Another ancient city worth mentioning is certainly the submerged city of Thonis, Heraklion, near Alexandria in Egypt. It's believed that the ruins were submerged in the sea by an earthquake about 1,500 years ago, and it still remains hidden undersea until now. Archaeologists have discovered hundreds of artifacts and sculptures just off the shore of Alexandria, and it's expected that the ruins are open to divers and tourists in the coming years. The underwater complex of Yonaguni in Japan is one of the most important underwater discoveries of the century. The incredible structures are located near the coast of Japan, and according to experts, the monuments date back to at least 10,000 BC, that's 12,000 years ago. And you can see there are dozens of underwater cities that have been found in recent years. All of them tell a similar story. Earth, as we know it, was very different in the distant past. Maybe it had to do with the younger Dryas and the comet impact that we had 12,800 years ago. So this is by Ancient Code, National Geographic, Costa Rica, Star, Ancient Origins. and is by Alexander Light, Humans Are Free. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.